For the first time, Nigerians are trying to understand what tax is all about. The truth is that
Toyin Olufon is a finance and technology leader driving data-led transformation across Africa. As founder of Lefort Consulting and the Techie accountant, she builds systems that help businesses and professionals operate with clarity, structure, and global standards.
I've seen a lot of news. You receive 100 million in your bank accounts, they'll just deduct it. There's been lots of myths.
Yeah.
There have been lots of stories. What exactly is the truth?
at no point will the government ever tax you on your inflow. You are taxed on your income or profits. This new tax law, one of its main goals is to ensure that that tax net is widened. You don't have a system that ensures that you see clearly what is really happening in your business. Whether we like it or not now, with the new tax law, it will force you.
Let us start from the basics.
Yeah.
What has changed?
In the new tax law, there's a law that says that if you do business with an individual business that is unregistered for tax purpose, there's a penalty of 5 million that you have to pay.
If I do business
Yeah,
with an entity
yeah,
that is not registered for tax,
yes.
so I need to get their team.
Absolutely, that's what the law is saying. That before you do business with anybody now, request for their TIN.
Let's talk about the principles and the systems that one can put in place to ensure that they do not fault.
Number one way, the legitimate way to reduce your taxes is to
This is actually a very interesting episode. This is an episode that we used to close out the year, and I'm very excited about it because at this time we talk about the roundup from the year, the economy. This is a business focused channel, and for me, based out of Nigeria, Venture Valley is based out of Nigeria. Most of our audience are based out of Nigeria, and I mean globally though, but we have a lot of them from Nigeria. And we always like to look at the economy to round up the year, and then also take a sneak peek. We can't predict the future. And we can't necessarily say that this is exactly what's going to happen in the future, but we can tell some signs. You can kind of tell that rain is going to fall when you see the clouds gather. So we are trying to just measure the clouds, what they're looking like, factoring in some human nature here and there and some unpredictability that can happen and some acts of God that we never know that may happen, right? And then just coming with a conclusion, just some insights that I believe will be able to enrich your outlook as you go into the Christmas holidays or the holidays and you're preparing for the new year. What should you be thinking about? How should you be navigating your plans, especially financial plans for the coming year? And to do that in this conversation today, I have my dear friend here who actually, this is a second episode with her because we did something similar like this last year. And we went on talking about FX. We spoke about the FX, the inflation rates, the government accounts, various economic indexes that we should look out for, and how we should position for it. A lot of the predictions she made came true. There were some that didn't necessarily come true. She would tell us some of it about it and what she feels about that, and we will dive into what we think is going to happen next year. The truth is, I would just like to give a caveat. This is not financial advice. If you want financial advice, please book a session with the guests and she will give you certified financial advice. So don't take this as any legal or financial advice. I need to put that caveat at the beginning of this episode so that you won't say I lost money because of your advice. We know this is not financial advice. So on this episode, I have the one and only Mrs. Toyin Olufon, the CEO of Lefort Consulting. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Prophet Elijah.
Okay, I like the fact that you begin this episode by calling me a prophet. Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because we are about to predict the future.
Yes, we are both here to predict 2026.
2026.
Yes.
Yeah, but last time you were here, you spoke about inflation. We spoke about FX pressures, tax, and we spoke about various elements of the economy and what we should look out for. Since that time till now, I would like you to give a review. What has changed? What has not changed? What do you think happened? What did you miss? What do you think were the key elements that happened this year that even some people might not pay attention to this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll say overall, It has been a good year.
Yeah.
In comparison to what appeared, I mean, in comparison to what we think would happen as at the end of 2024 and the economic indices that we could see at that point in time and the performance so far, now that we're in December, it's been a good year. And the first thing I'll talk about is the FX. If you remember, as at the end of 2024, it felt like the prices of FX was just going up.
Yeah, I mean, we
You
thought
were
it was going to enter 2000, 3000.
exactly, especially with the rate at which it was going at that point in time, and we did not see any clear, policy changes that were going to be implemented at that point in time.
Yeah.
But what happened is that at the beginning of the year, the CBN definitely rolled out a playbook, which, in my own opinion, has helped the economy to stabilize. We are still stabilizing, but we are in a better position in comparison to where we were in year 2024.
Yes.
And one of the key things that they did, which I think it really helped, first of all, was to clear the backlog of our FX liabilities, about 7 billion thereabout. So that helped to boost investors' confidence, to say that our monies are not trapped again. It will be easier for us to get our money out of the economy in Nigeria so we can also invest. Another thing also that happened was they abolished the multiple exchange rate. And for me, I was so happy about that because for the longest time, it looked as if that problem was never going to be solved. So I love the fact that they've solved this problem, by creating a single window whereby you have the willing seller, the willing buyer. Yes, demand and supply in any ideal economy should be the forces, driving the prices of FX, which was not our own case at that point in time. I mean, before 2025. So I like the fact that at the moment, that's what is driving the market. And, the pressure also for FX too has reduced because of Dangote refinery. At least
That has been a major catalyst.
yes,
Yeah.
it has been a major catalyst. Another catalyst also is the higher crude oil price as well, which has helped.
Okay.
Yes,
Stabilize.
yes, it has helped in increasing our dollar generation, as a country as well. So these were like the key things, that happened within the year and that has accumulated to this stability that we are all experiencing, at the moment. Yes, to a large extent, I think we are beginning to feel the impact when it comes to prices of food as well, because that's the most important thing to any man out there on the street or any woman. How does this affect me? Even if we say inflation is coming down, it's reduced. And if it does not reflect in the prices of foods, everything, I mean, the day-to-day, the things we need for our day-to-day life, then the common man does not understand it. But I like the fact that the prices of foods also are reduced. And in fact, for rice, it's so impressive that you could get a bag of 20 kg of rice for 55,000 as opposed to the price as at the end of 2024. So as I said, we are in a better position, should be told. And looking at the other economic reforms also, that are being rolled out from different sectors, different government agencies, for the first time, I think that those policies are actually speaking to each other. Because one of the things also that we've not really, well, I say as a country that we've not enjoyed is that most times the different government offices,
Yes.
they are generating policies that do not have a handshake. So, because they're supposed to
There's no
strengthen each other,
alignment.
there's no alignment. But for the first time, we're beginning to see alignment, and to a large extent, that's why we are seeing, the economic growth that we are experiencing. And you can tell investors are coming back; they're bringing in their money. So that speaks to the fact that we are on the right track as a country.
So if you were to give a theme to when I mean a theme, like what's the theme of this economic activity? Will you say that Nigeria is on a comeback in terms of our glory is being restored?
Yes, I think our glory, I think it's even beyond that.
I'm sorry, I used the church term. Our glory is being restored, but
So I think it's beyond our glory being restored, because in my own opinion, I think we were just camouflaging our glory before now. We were not doing things properly. So for the first time, we are beginning to do things properly. For example, I know I'm about to say something that people don't like to hear, but you see, this tax reform, maybe because I'm a business and a tax consultant as well, these tax reforms that has been done for the first time, right? For the first time, shows that Nigeria is serious and Nigeria truly wants to support businesses. I'm not a government spokesperson, please. So don't think that because I'm saying this, then maybe I've been paid or anything.
So I mean, I really wanted. One of the reasons why I wanted yours to speak about this on
Yes.
this episode was because I know that you are a business capitalism. You help businesses thrive.
Yeah.
So I really want us to. I'm glad you spoke about tax, and I really want us to dive into that a bit more, because I know that you help a lot of businesses be compliant and help them ensure that they, as businesses, they thrive too. So you are not biased. You are not a government spokesperson that is just trying to make money for the government, but you help businesses stay fit when it comes to their taxes and to their books and everything. So from this new tax bill law, I mean, the common Nigerian or the typical businessman who might not be a technocrat, a financial technocrat who will be watching this episode, let us start from the basics.
Yeah.
What has changed?
Okay.
We have enough time.
What has changed? I think the first thing that has changed is that more businesses and individuals will be captured within the tax nets. And I think that is where, I think mostly that's where the outcry is coming from. Let's be truthful. More businesses and individuals will be captured within the tax nets. Before now, we only had few people that were paying taxes in Nigeria, few businesses. And it's still these businesses that are being belabored with more taxes. Anytime the government needs more money, they will introduce another tax. Now, who are the people paying? It's the same people that have been paying. There was no effort to ensure that people that were not within the tax net were brought into the tax nets. So this new tax law, one of its main goal is to ensure that that tax net is widened and to reduce the burden on the people that, or the businesses that have been paying, for the longest time. So if we see it from that prism, then I think it's a win-win for everyone. Yes.
So, but what has, like, I mean, I saw you wrote an article recently about the ombudsman.
Yeah.
I mean, and what that meant.
Yeah.
So what are the key elements? Because I mean, I've seen a lot of news. I've heard that right now, if you receive 100 million in your bank accounts, you will be taxed. You'll just deduct it from your bank account. I mean, there's been lots of myths.
Yeah.
There have been lots of stories. What exactly is the truth? We are trying to make sense of it all.
Thank you for this question. Let me also tell you something that I'm happy about. For the first time, Nigerians are trying to understand what tax is all about. The truth is that if you go to the Western world, an average Western citizen understand taxes and can give some certain explanations. So sometimes online, when I'm scrolling and I see even sometimes content creators, they are actually big pages. They are the ones saying that, every inflow that gets into your account is going to be taxed directly. And I just smile. And when you look at the comments, different people are fighting each other. How can the government do that? They can't try that with me. I agree, because that's not how it is done. Yes, that's not how it is done. At no point will the government ever tax you on your inflow. You are taxed on your income or profits. So let's be clear. Profit for businesses. Either you are a business name, an enterprise, or you're a limited liability company, whatever structure you have. As far as you're a business, you are taxed on your profits. But as an individual, you work, a freelancer, a remote worker, an employee, you're taxed on your income. So please, if you don't take anything out of this session, know that you will never be taxed on the inflow that comes into your account. That is not what the law is all about. Now, to the layman on the street, what it means to them, I think I said, and I think I had said this before, this is where the outcry is coming from, which is the fact that everybody will now have to be responsible. Because whether you like it or not, either you go and file for self-assessment, which I would advise is the best, before the stipulated deadlines that we have for both businesses, a limited liability or a business name, yes. And also, the new tax laws are not after small businesses, right? And small businesses are defined as businesses that have turnover that is less than 100 million in a year. You are exempted from CIT, from VAT, from withholding, everything tax.
Including VAT?
Yes, you don't charge VAT. Yes. You're actually excluded for small businesses.
Really?
So, and we know that our economy is driven by SMEs. We have smaller businesses. We have many smaller businesses in our economy.
Yeah.
So they don't even need to worry or to be panicking, because of the new tax law. No, it doesn't affect you at all. Now, the idea, however, this only applies, this only applies to businesses that are registered as limited liability companies. So if you are a business name, right, or your business is an enterprise, you still pay personal income tax on the profit that you make. So it is safe, based on this new law like this, it is safe for small businesses to be registered, or will I not safe, it is cheaper for you to be registered as a limited liability company. Because whatever profit you make will be excluded from companies' income
So I thought
tax.
before it was the other way around.
Yes, and that was the very hilarious system that we were running before now. Anywhere in the world, when people want to minimize their tax exposure, they will always register their company as
A
a limited liability anywhere in the world. It was only in Nigeria that it was cheaper for you to run your business as
A business
name than a limited liability company. Wow. So this law is trying to correct this anomaly, so that most businesses have this corporate structure. And because it's only when businesses truly have corporate structure that they are able to grow and scale.
True.
If you want to deal with any business, any serious-minded organization or an international company, they will not deal with you because you're a business name. It's just the outright fact. They want to see that you are a limited liability because that is the structure that protects your business, that even protects the person that wants to do business with you as well. It reduces their risk of exposure.
Yes.
So the point is that if we truly want to see more businesses grow, in this part of the world, it starts with the structure.
So this has further incentivized for why you should have limited liability companies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I typically watch all these videos from the US. I remember one of the ways to go about is to set up an LLC.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
I get it now.
That's the reason for doing that.
So, but then you've spoken about that there's we that are under the, let me not say we, but we that are under the 100 million.
Who are the we?
The people that are under the 100 million.
Okay.
That are limited liability.
Yes.
How do you've spoken about them. Now, let's speak about people above the 100 million. Okay. So the medium
to large scale businesses, yes, as well. I think the first thing I would say is that if you want to do business the right way, it should be done. Then the new tax law is in your favor.
Really?
Yes. For example, for the first time, I remember that there was a time I traveled out and we bought something. I think was in Dubai or France. I can't remember. I think it was in Dubai. And we paid VAT. And we could claim our VAT input. We're not even in the country. They gave us a link. We submitted everything that we paid. Weeks back, after we had returned to Nigeria, we got a refund for the VAT that we paid, right? We don't have that system. We never had that system in Nigeria, whereby you can claim back, or government will even give you a refund for VAT input. But in this new tax law now, there is a very robust provision for that allows you to claim VAT input. Now, before now, you're only allowed to claim VAT input on the goods that is bought in producing whatever you sell. It was not inclusive of services. Now it is inclusive of services. It's
Really?
even inclusive of operational expenses that you pay VAT on. You can claim the VAT input. It's also inclusive on asset purchased. If you buy an asset, you paid VAT, you can claim it as VAT input. So when there is an excess refund, because what you pay to the government is called VAT payable. And typically how that is calculated is that your VAT output minus your VAT input. That's how we get your VAT payable that we remit, you get to pay every month. So with this new system now, there are instances that your VAT input may be higher than your VAT output. That means you have excess, right? Yes.
So I think from my own perspective, one of the things I'm also seeing is that means even businesses would like to only do businesses with businesses that are structured.
Correct. And that's the whole essence. That's why I said that the businesses that will flourish, that will thrive in 2026 are the ones that have chosen to do business the right way. Yes. So it is pro businesses. And I really want us to have that mental shift as a people. I know there's this outcry, oh, this, that. But if you look in depthly at, the laws, if you choose to do businesses, the right way, if you do your business the right way, you would be rewarded. Beyond even the taxes, the fact is that it will also contribute to your growth. A lot of business owners that I see in Nigeria, we just have this mindset that with the anyhowness that we run our business, we think that the business will grow. It is not growing. Most times, business owners are running in circles and they don't even know. Today, it looks as if it's growing. Next day, there's something that pulls you back. And that's because you're not just running business the right way. You don't have a system that ensures that you see clearly what is really happening in your business. But whether we like it or not now, with the new tax law, it will force you, at least the first thing you have to do is to keep appropriate records, because that's the number one way, the legitimate way to reduce your taxes.
Keeping good records.
Yes, keeping good records and not good stories.
But let's even look at it now. Did they introduce new taxes? How does it affect my position within where I stay, like where my business is based? How does it affect like the percentage, where the percentage is increased? I know that they've said they're going to do NRS, National Revenue Service. Like, how does this all come together? I know that in countries like America, for example, you have things whereby people move from different states to different states because they want to optimize for taxes. Does that also apply here? And what kind of tax does that apply to?
Okay, so in this instance, not at the moment. Okay. The tax system that we have is unified. Okay. And NIRS coming on board also will be the revenue, will be the agency in charge of revenue as relating to the federal government.
Okay.
Yes, so meaning that all the other agencies that you have that are always collecting revenue for government, they've consolidated all those revenue agencies into one called NIRS. Okay. So it's no more only FRS, but you have other agencies also under that big umbrella.
You're talking about we're talking about CITs. That's corporate income tax. There's PIT, personal income tax. There is VAT, value added tax. There is, I think there's even education tax. There is, I don't know, I lose count on how many taxes exist. Sometimes I just
there's police levy.
Police levy.
There's Nasani. We have, at the moment, yes, we have quite a number of taxes. So another thing that has been achieved with this new tax law is to unify all these taxes. So at the moment, by next year, we'll only have something called development levy, and it's at 4%. So it has eradicated all these different
education,
other taxes that we have that you pay as a company. So to answer your question directly, no new taxes were introduced. Instead, the number of taxes were reduced, they were consolidated, they were reduced, and incentives as well were also given.
What kind of incentives?
Okay. At the moment, there's something called EDI, Economic Development Incentives.
Okay.
And it's for, the list is quite long. You have about 13 pages of different companies and businesses that qualify for EDI, and what EDI does is to give you tax credits up to 5 years, even up to 10 years also, depending on the difference, the sector that you're playing in. And as far as you do things, the right way, then you get to enjoy from EDI. Yes. So before now, there's something called pioneer status. The truth is that a lot of businesses did not even know that such incentives existed. At some point, I met businesses that they never took advantage. They said they don't know, that this existed. So one of the things I will say to business owners that are listening to this podcast is that get knowledge. It's very, very important. That's something, when you see the rich getting richer, they don't play, they don't joke about getting the right knowledge. And that's why it looks as if they're always taking advantage, of the system in a country. However, it's actually available to everybody.
Yes.
But the challenge is that most people are not even aware of it, let alone being able to take advantage of it. Like now, for example, EDI, if you're a company that is into the production of solar panels, all this, the materials that are used for renewable energy, you actually qualify for EDI. So you should be working towards, ensuring that you benefit from this. Yes, it's going to take some process, but you will definitely get it if only, you are committed to the process.
So let's talk about a bit more about the principles and the systems that one can put in place to ensure that they do not fault in this new regime. Because also I know that we had a lot of stories around our bank accounts being tracked. As a matter of fact, the government has put a lot of effective measures to incentivize good behavior.
Yeah.
Right. I think even recently, I think I know in Abuja, they do not even allow you do some land documentation unless you present your tax clearance certificate.
Yeah.
So how can you walk us through what we should be doing to ensure that we are optimum as businesses in this 2026, considering that the tax bill takes effect from January?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is that if possible, sit with a knowledgeable tax consultant. Let the tax consultant help you understand how these new taxes affect your businesses, affect your internal control processes as well.
Okay.
Because this is very key. And I'm going to be saying some examples that will buttress this point I just made. Like now, for example, in the new tax law, there's a law that says that if you do business with an individual business that is unregistered for tax purpose, there's a penalty of 5 million, that you have to pay. Yes. So what that means is that you have to go and readjust or realign your internal processes to ensure that you don't fall short of this. And it's very easy. It's for you.
So if I do business with an entity that is not
registered for tax purpose.
That is not registered for tax.
Yes.
So I need to get their TIN.
Absolutely. That's what the law is saying. That before you do business with anybody now, request for their TIN. And as an experienced consultant, I will tell you, go and confirm that the TIN is in the name of the business, because our people are quite funny.
Are you getting those updates, guys?
So before, because even before this law came into being, right, there's something we do for one of our clients. Anytime they need to pay their withholding tax, and we need to first verify all those TIN. There are some times that we realize that they intentionally give them wrong TIN that does not belong to them. Yes. By the time we check, we're like,
maybe you can borrow your friend's TIN.
I don't even know why they do that, because it doesn't make sense. They are throwing money away. When money is withheld from you as a vendor, it's supposed to be paid into your tax account as an upfront payment for your liabilities, which you'll be settling at the end of the year. So it doesn't make sense for any vendor to be giving you a wrong TIN, but we've seen it. And most of the time, I think this will only stem out from ignorance. Because if the vendor knows that this withholding that is about to be paid, into my tax account helps me to pay my taxes in advance, it's a no-brainer. So the money is not being taken away completely. It's still your money, just that we've helped you to pay some of your taxes in advance. That's what it's all about. Yes.
So there's a penalty of 5 million naira
Yes.
for doing
And the
business
essence of that, I've told you, they are expanding the tax nets.
Yeah.
That's one way. That is another way to ensure that, we have more people within the tax nets. Yes.
More registered businesses.
More registered businesses and individuals as well. So the law is not saying don't do business with individuals as well, but just make sure that they are registered. So let them provide their TIN. That's very key. Yes. Another thing also that the law, because these are the good parts of the law that people are not paying attention to. The VAT refund I just talked about, for you to be able to get a refund, or a credit to your accounts for VAT, your documentation has to be intact. That means that the invoice that you issue to your customers must clearly indicate VAT. That's very key. It has to indicate VAT. And the ones
it can't be inclusive.
No, it is not inclusive. You cannot write VAT inclusive again. It has to be clear. This is the total, this is the VAT, and this is the gross sum at the end of the day. That has to be clear. Then the ones also that you get to pay to your suppliers, they have to clearly state VAT. Because it's only then that reconciliation can be done properly. And not just that, not just the invoice also, there has to be a trail, because that's also the problem. People want to refund, but they've not kept adequate record. They've not kept a clean record that is unrefutable. So you have to pay attention to that. There has to be a trail. You cannot be saying that you paid a vendor 12 million, but we are looking at your bank statements. We cannot see the vendor's name, in the bank statements, clearly showing that you paid the 12 million. Or you paid the 12 million on a date that is earlier than when the invoice was sent. These are like little things that could weaken your claim. So if you want to enjoy, this, I'll call it incentives that comes with this new tax law, you must be ready to do the right thing.
That's documentation.
And documentation is very key. Then accurate bookkeeping also is now very key as well. Because that's by keeping accurate records, you'll be able to claim all your business expenses. You know that they are allowed for tax purposes. They help to reduce your profits. So you have to keep proper record, proper documentation, to prove that these expenses, you truly incur them and they relate to your business. Now, what I've seen from experience is that a lot of businesses, they actually incur these expenses. But something that they don't do is they don't keep proper records. Yes, by the time you look at their filing system, there are no invoices, there are no receipts. In fact, they don't do contracts. And remember that we live in a society whereby that most of the time we close deals on the phone. Yes, we close deals, or we close deals on WhatsApp. And immediately we close deals on WhatsApp. Oh, yeah, send me your account details, transfer this and this. It's going to cost you more next year, please. Even if they are going to do the transfer, please ask for the invoice, ask for the receipts. Yes. If you are taking a loan, short-term loan, let there be simple agreements. It doesn't need to be complex. Have it on paper.
It can even be a one-pager.
Yes, it can be a one-pager. Maybe because the both parties involved, you people trust yourself that much. We understand that. But have an agreement. Something simple, something elementary. That's very key to strengthen your case when it comes to taxes and reducing your tax liability. Another one I would say, which is very important, one of the key elements for reducing your taxes, especially when we are calculating it, is called capital allowance. So now, in accounting, there's something we call depreciation.
Yes.
And we charge depreciation on our assets. When you buy asset, you believe that the asset is going to serve you for years, right? You're going to get economic value from it, let's say for 2, 3, or 4 to 5 years. And in fact, it will help in generating more money for the organization as well. That's why it's called an asset. However, as you use the assets, the value depreciates. Its effectiveness also reduces with time. Yes, so that's why we always calculate depreciation. Now, for tax purpose, depreciation is not an allowable expense, but in return, there's something called capital allowance. So capital allowance is a substitute for depreciation in tax.
Okay.
Now, what the new tax law is saying is that for your asset, for you to be able to claim capital allowance, number one, make sure that the VAT, you paid VAT on that asset, or you paid the custom duties on the asset, assuming you are importing the asset. Now, what the law is saying is that if you don't pay VAT or you did not pay import duties, you'll not be able to claim capital allowance on that asset.
Wow.
Yes.
So what's capital allowance?
It's a substitute for depreciation.
So I'll just put it on my book, capital allowance.
No, there's a way to calculate it, of course. There's a way to calculate it. So it's a fraction of the cost of your assets that is allowed for you to use to reduce your profits in that year.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a fraction of the cost of the asset. Yeah. So let's say you bought an asset for, let's say, 1 million. And let's say the capital allowance rate is 10%. So that means 100,000 that year, right? So 100,000. And you calculate it over the useful life of the asset. So when I say 100,000, that means I'm assuming that it is 10 years. So that means in that year, you can use 100,000 to reduce your profits, which then definitely reduces your taxes as well. So, but the good thing is, I know what I just said now sounds complex, but remember I talked about the VAT refund as well, VAT impute.
Yes.
I just told you that the VAT you pay on assets is now an allowable VAT impute claim. Okay. So you're not losing. So what most people don't know is that there's a way these laws, they are intertwined, like they compensate each other to ensure that it doesn't have a negative impact on you. The bottom line, it doesn't have a negative impact on you, except when you choose not to do the right thing. Yes.
So, wow, that has been really an educative moment. What comes to my mind, I came across a statement recently called, in 2026, Nigerians will need to learn how to live the corporate lifestyle. And I don't know if you saw it.
Okay.
So and I think what the person was trying to say, and in the comment section, was the fact that we need to understand how corporate organizations work and how to maximize them so that you do not fall trap to certain tax deductibles that, or should I say taxes that you would have necessarily avoided. So, I mean, and then you would typically hear that people are buying houses in the name of their companies instead of in their names, or buying cars in the name of their company instead of their names. That has been ways that I've seen people in other climes imputed. So you see, for example, people even go for fancy dinners and they charge it on the company account, and they document business lunch.
They are there for business. Are you not there for business? Anytime you go out for a fancy dinner, most of the time, though, you're there for networking.
Yes.
It's because you're trying to get maybe a contact. So yes, if you have proper documentation, you can claim it as business lunch. Yes, because you are there for a purpose. You're not just there to enjoy. We are not talking about clubbing or things like that. But, when you have those strategic...
But sometimes we carry our clients to clubs.
Yes, so that could also, as I said, the aim. Is it for business?
Well, you must get your receipts.
Have your receipts. If you don't have your receipts, you will have a good story, but you're a bad case.
Okay, so let's come to the personal side of things. I think, basically, I think if there's anyone watching this and is feeling a bit complicated, I think what I was telling you is that's the reason why they say in this life you need two people. You need a finance person and a lawyer. But I think this is the best I could do for you, so that at least you could learn something. But so if you need more information, obviously go speak to a tax accountant like Mrs. Toyin here. But now let's talk about the person. We are a culture of gifts and helpers. Someone said that I forgot how the person put it. the man say we're a culture of mercy and grace. It was very funny, but what he was speaking to was the fact that, I mean, you hear statements like black tax,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily always earn from only our income,
True.
right? Maybe our uncle dashed us money.
Yeah.
Or we went somewhere and the dash just folded dollars into your hand. How do we now navigate this? Or let me even come to this case: a boyfriend giving his girlfriend
Some money.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about, or sugar daddy
Yeah.
giving her his sugar baby 50 million. How do we? I mean, Mrs. Toyin, help me.
This complexity, right?
No, but
Yeah.
these are real,
Yes,
right?
they are
It's the
real.
reality of our culture. Like, we don't.
They're actually real. On Friday, I went for an event and I had to go with my daughter. And you know that my daughter ended up being gifted nothing less than 50K. Yes.
Yes.
And it was not planned.
Okay.
Yes. So I understand. So when you see that inflow now in my bank account, you'll be wondering, maybe I did a business or
Exactly.
I get the point you're trying to make. And especially even the ones that has to do with sugar daddy, because they spoil, sometimes those sugar daddy, they really spoil their
Sugar babies.
sugar babies a lot.
Yes.
In a very significant amount. But what I would say is that the mode is very important. And also the kind of account where it's coming from is very important.
Okay.
First of all, gifts are not going to be taxed. It's just like if you see my bank account now, you will see that there's significant inflows too from my husband. So would you say that I should come and pay tax on that? No, I didn't earn it. It's a gift basically for running the house. And so things like that. And for that one, it can be easily decoded because you can see my name, you can see the name of my husband, and you can see the flow. I mean, the rate. You can just tell.
What about boyfriend?
So for boyfriend now, that probably the surnames are not even close to anything. So let's go to boyfriends. So most likely, if the boyfriend is sending from company's accounts,
Okay, no.
let's say boyfriend is sending to the girlfriend's account, and it's for company's accounts. That girlfriend will have a lot of stories to tell.
Really?
Yes, it's from a company. So what did you do for them? You cannot say a company gifted you. It's not a charitable organization. Companies don't just wake up and give someone 50 million. Except maybe Bua that did that few days ago.
Yeah, but I'm sure
but
you
that
will
was
account
his
for
employees.
it. Yes.
He will even account for it, But the point is that companies do not just wake up and give to you 50,000. So that girlfriend will have to have a lot of explanation. For that income. You cannot say it is difficult for you to prove that is a gift at that point in time. The safe thing to do is that if it's coming from the boyfriend should send it from his personal account. So that is more relatable.
So you will say that's a gift.
That is a gift, And of course, the frequency but I agree with you though. It's going to be a very tough one because if I'm the tax man, I can choose to also ask some very tough questions. Why would someone just gift you 50 million naira?
I was laughing because
Yeah.
I was like, who gives that?
So I guess boyfriends and girlfriends now, they'll be playing the game smarter. I don't know. Maybe they will reduce the sum per time.
Or we'll keep the transaction on cash.
Or they'll keep, but it's even expensive to hold cash too. Yeah, it's expensive to hold cash. It is expensive. At the moment, they are saying, okay, if you have billions,
Yeah, I mean, they've done some monetary policies that
Yeah.
allows free flow of cash a bit.
Yes, but for you to get cash out now,
It's hard, but
it's
push it
very
in
hard.
yeah.
But push it. So they are mopping out all the cash in the system, basically. So it will be harder to actually do cash transactions. Yeah. But I think that as far as you can defend it, I think that's very important that you're able to defend it.
Wow.
So think about other supporting documents that you can use to defend it.
Your relationship with men. Wow.
Your relationship, I don't know about that.
Maybe we'll have like dating certificates or something.
But remember, okay, so it depends now because I remember that someone once asked that, what about, I'm not sure, prostitute? Are they a prostitute? Are they going to pay tax? Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Toyin, let's even talk about prostitutes. Yeah, no, like because I mean, I think there are economies that tax prostitutes.
Okay. Yes, they
there
have,
are.
funny
I
enough.
mean, you have like in China, you have red light districts.
Yeah.
You know, typically.
Because it's a big market.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's not even. I mean, I saw something. I came across an economics. Is it an economist article? But I know they spoke about the side chick economy. I saw an estimation, and I won't lie. When I saw, it, I was like, huh? Who did this calculation? But it's the reality.
It is.
You know,
it's
but
a thriving one.
It's a thriving one. So
Yeah.
how would we tax that?
So truth be told, if it's for
Because informal trades too.
Yeah. So if it's for prostitution, it's a trade, even though it's not legal
In Nigeria, yes.
in Nigeria, but it's an income. What is being paid to you is an income. But the question also we need to ask is that are they within the threshold? Remember now, for personal income tax, if your annual income is less than 800,000, you don't pay tax at all. You're exempted.
If your annual income
Yes.
is less than what?
800,000
per month?
No, annual.
Now, why are they doing that now?
Yeah.
So a lot of people's annual income is less than 800,000.
But it is.
It's more than 800,000.
You don't think so?
How?
The woman selling granite every day that you meet outside, how much do you think she truly makes?
Okay, no, but I think it would have been, they should have increased that one now.
Probably they will still work on it, but at the moment, that's what it is.
Per year?
Yes, per year. You are completely exempted, from personal income tax.
Okay.
Yes. Then the threshold goes up like that. So my point is that it's only the ones.
How many percent is personal income tax?
The maximum rate at the moment is 25%, and your annual income will be above 50 million.
Okay, so if I am earning 50 million or 70 million, or let's say 100 million a year.
Yes.
How much am I paying in personal income tax?
You mean the rates?
Yes.
So there are different bands. Let me first use the 10 million naira example to explain. The first 800,000 from that 10 million will be charged at 0%. Then the next 2.2 million will be charged at 15%. Yes. Then the remaining, which will now be 7 million, will be charged at 18%.
So they will charge me 18% of that money?
Of 7 million.
As my tax?
Yes, so you will pay 2.2 million at 15% plus 7 million times 18%, multiplied by 18%.
Wow.
Yeah. However, let me also clearly state this. There are also other allowable deduction.
Okay, like
that helps to reduce what your taxable income would be.
Okay.
So don't let us just pick the income the way it is.
Okay.
So assuming you contribute to a pension fund, that reduces your taxable income, basically.
What about rent?
Yes, then rent as well, but it is capped at 500,000
per annum.
Yes, per annum.
What's that now? Who pays 500,000 rent?
So that's true, but that's the allowance. Yes, that's the allowance you're allowed to claim. Yeah.
Hey God, I was liking Taiwo Yedoli when this episode started, but now I'm not sure I'm liking him anymore. I'm not sure I'm liking him anymore because because of the rising rent costs in the country right now. Like it's a pandemic.
So I think the essence of the allowance is not to fully absorb your rent costs.
Yeah, no, but the challenge is.
So my own opinion, let me even tell you what I think, why they introduced the rent allowance. They are looking for ways to capture the income earned by landlords. At the moment, that income, right, is very difficult for you to capture it. That's why when you're renting a place, ideally you're supposed to withhold. Let's say you rented a place for 10 million naira. Ideally, when you're paying the landlord, right, you're supposed to withhold 10% of that amount. So you're supposed to actually withhold 1 million. So that means you're supposed to pay the landlord 9 million. But we all know that it is rare for you to see a landlord that will agree that his rent sum should be withheld from. Rather, it will tell you that the rent amount is net of withholding. Now, even when he says that to you, the truth is that when you even tell him to provide his TIN so that you can remit the withholding, he would never provide it. So the reality is that most times the income from rental are not captured within the tax nets.
Mm.
Yes. So I feel that this law, I mean, the introduction of this rent relief is just one of the means to help to capture, information about this. Because for you now, for you to be able to claim the rent relief, remember that you have to bring proof of the rent that you've paid. That means that your landlord needs to give you a receipt. He needs to give you maybe an agreement if he wasn't doing that before. That helps to that brings awareness about whoever owns that property. Yeah.
Wow. So, but if I have a landlord who maybe allows me to, because I mean they have facilities that you have facility managers that you pay into their account.
Yeah.
So there's that proper business to business kind of relationship. So if I have that kind of relationship, can't I claim like VAT or all those things in my what do you call it, as part of my, to relieve my personal income tax?
No, there's no even VAT on rent. So there's no VAT on rent. There's no VAT on even the sale of residential buildings.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's VAT exempt.
Wow.
And do you know why?
Why?
Because shelter is one of the basic needs for humans. So we cannot introduce more taxes that will make it more expensive. Yeah.
This is not no, because I think I'm struggling with that idea
Okay.
a bit, just because of how rent is. It's a major issue, but I'll move from that.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about now you've told us about the various things that we could do to ensure that we are compliant, and to also ensure that we get the good side of this thing, because it's not all bad. It's
Yeah.
also good, because I think what's happening is that a lot of Nigerians have struggled
Yes.
with the idea of taxes. We've never really been a very taxable nation. As a matter of fact, I saw a statistic somewhere that said, is it about 70 or 80% of the tax that we use as a country is actually gotten from 60 businesses? I was shocked, but I'm not shocked, because when I
Yeah.
saw a list recently by Nairametrics that showed 60 something businesses only in this country that make over 100 billion
True. They are the ones
paying the taxes.
paying the taxes. But another good thing I like that has happened now is that the government also have been able to capture the digital economy. So the likes of Facebook, you can see before now when you run an ad on Facebook or Instagram, you don't used to pay anything like VAT or anything, but now it is inclusive. You have to pay VAT. So these monies are being remitted also to the government, which has helped to significantly, because it is digital. So it is easier to collect, and to remit as well. So that has helped to boost the income, from taxes for
So,
the government.
But okay, now let's talk about this. You just went there already talking about digital businesses. So now I work remotely.
Yeah.
Creators who earn from Facebook, who earns from YouTube, who earns from all these other platforms, how should they, what is their future looking like, considering this new tax regime? Because we have a rising people of the gig economy,
Yeah.
who work for like global organizations from Nigeria earning their FX. How does this apply to them?
So this law actually applies to them because they are now within the tax net as well. I think one thing also they had said is that they'll be tracking, their income. And there's this year's CRS report, CRS agreement that's been signed with Nigeria and other countries as well. It's just international practice, whereby
What's CRS agreement?
is common reporting standard. I think that's the
Okay.
meaning.
Okay.
So, but typically, what they're doing is that they exchange information regarding citizens that earn money
From their markets.
from their markets. Then Nigeria too, we exchange with them. These are like people that earn money from ours, and they are they are your
Oh, okay,
citizens,
so that
things
was
like
that thing
that.
with France that the people were talking about, and we're like, oh,
Exactly. So I saw the headlines as well. I was just too angry to even read it because I saw those headlines. I'm like, what's going on? They said, some people said, oh, we want to sell ourselves to another colonial master. I'm like, this is just international practice, like it's OECD standard. This is what is being done. Countries from time to time, they exchange information. And the idea is just to reduce tax evasion
yeah,
so that this country, because what happens is that the other country loses, then this other country as well, maybe where the person is resident, also loses. So nobody gains at all at the end of the day. So it's just to reduce, the ability to evade tax. Yes, that's the whole idea. So it's more of just exchanging. And by the way, it's not something new. It's something that has been happening. We have something called CBCR reports, country by country reporting, that has been in existence even before now, and it's been done. We submit this report for our clients at the end of every year, all the time. Yes, we do. So the same way, so countries like that the government have these agreements with, they have certain agreements. You give us this kind of data. We too will give you this kind of data so that we are able to, at least they both have insight. So for remote workers, as that means you're a remote worker, you're a resident in Nigeria. Residency is defined by spending up to 183 days in the country. So for remote workers, outrightly you're a resident in Nigeria, and typically you should be taxed on your global income. Ideally, even in the country that you're earning the income from, they're not supposed to tax you because you're not resident there. This resident rule is actually universal, right? It's the same definition, around the world. And what the law is saying is that when you get your money from this other company, countries, make sure you declare it in your return as well. Now, another thing I think remote workers should pay attention to is the cost of providing these services to their employer. That's one very legitimate way for them to reduce their taxes. As a remote worker, for you to be able to keep up or work with that company abroad, it's possible that you've decided to buy Starlink because that's the reliable internet service provider. That cost is an allowable cost in reducing your income, right? These are like costs that you have to incur for you to be able to earn that amount. So more than before, that's why I said documentation is very, very key, right? All the expenses that you had to incur. It's just like all these online creators as well. At some point, maybe you paid an editor. Make sure you get a receipt, an invoice for paying an editor. It's part of the cost. Without that editor doing their job, will you have a video to put online? Or you run ads. You run ads to be able to promote your video online. Those are legitimate business expenses that you can use to reduce your taxes. But it all boils down on documentation. And that's why we need to start paying attention more than before how we do businesses so that you don't. I tell people something. Let me tell you why the Western world, there's something that I've noticed. When they set up a company, the next thing that they are looking for is a tax consultant. Yes, they've been wired that way because they know that their government doesn't play with taxes. And they also do not want to pay more taxes than is required. Yes. So they are very, in fact, not just a tax consultant, they will get an accounting software. I think that's the first thing they normally would do. They will have an accounting software. So I'm hoping that with this new tax law, it will also make the account tech sector in Nigeria to boom and thrive. For the longest time, it has not scaled the way that I expect that it should have scaled. I will always say it, that's the bedrock for any business. Your accounting is the bedrock. If you don't get it right, then you are just playing, you're not doing business, truth be told. So I believe that with this advent of this new tax law, because there's also something called e-invoicing as well, which will be that is being introduced in stages.
I think I
yes.
saw some licensing for that by the
Yes.
what's the name? This guy is the government entity in charge of technology.
NITDA.
NITDA, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So yes, so we are hoping that, and it's been implemented in stages. And at some point, we believe that the whole idea, I believe, is that they want to digitalize, the whole process end to end, because that will help with a lot of transparency. And it will help also with accountability, both from the taxpayer's perspective and even from the taxman's, perspective as well. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this will lead to a booming account tech sector. We have a lot of good players in this sector, but to a large extent, that sector is not as big as what it should be in comparison to how it is, in the Western world.
So, but let's even talk about. I mean, there's this thing I heard about. I don't know how true it is, so I'd like clarifications around it.
Yeah.
About Nigerians in diaspora being taxed on the income they make over there. Now we're speaking about Nigerians here, but is there any form of like tax uh, liability that a person in diaspora from Nigeria has? Because they were talking about, so for example, if you become a citizen of the US, you declare your global income,
Yes.
right? So is that, I heard that that's also going to be applied to Nigerians in diaspora. Is that true, or is that
But that will only be true if Nigerians in the diaspora are still earning from Nigeria.
okay?
Yes, because that's what we are also doing in Nigeria now, saying that you must declare your global income.
Okay.
Don't just declare, as far as you're resident in Nigeria, don't just declare the income you earned in Nigeria. Declare the other income that you earned in those other countries as well.
Okay.
Yes, and pay taxes on it. I've told you that what determines the personal income tax you pay as an individual is your residency status.
Okay.
Where are you resident in that year? Where you are resident in that year determines the country that you pay your taxes to. So what Nigeria government is saying that if you are resident in Nigeria in a particular year, declare your global income and taxes will be paid, on the global income. And if you had to pay some other taxes in those other countries, declare it as well. We will take it into consideration and see if you still have to pay taxes on those some or not. Yes.
So if I'm a Nigerian in diaspora who maybe has some businesses here, or maybe a house I'm renting out, any form of income from this market, I'll still have to pay taxes within this market to the government, or declare that I'm paying taxes within that market or something like that.
Okay, so most likely, I'll use your example. If you are in you're based abroad. However, let's say you have a property and you're getting rental income. So most likely, it is being paid to your Naira account. I want to believe so.
Yes.
That it's being paid to your Naira account.
Yes.
Yes, you pay taxes on it.
This tax thing, I don't know. I don't think we can ever exhaust
No,
understanding it, and I think that's why people typically need consultants. But let's move to the economy. Looking at 2026, what are you foreseeing? What should we look out for? How should we brace ourselves? I know it's a very interesting year. It's a political year because it precedes the election that will happen in 2027, early in the year. So it's a political year. From June, we are going to see a lot of politicking. So what's typical of a political year that you could tell us, and what are some things that we should brace ourselves for?
I think there will be significant government spendings for next year, which is pre-election year.
Okay,
so they'll definitely award maybe a lot of those contracts that have been pending, mobilization and ensure completion for some as well. I believe that will happen, next year.
Because you have to have something to show for the election.
For the election year. And you always know that when it's close to election year, they normally will just put something together so that they have something tangible to campaign with, during the election. But I think economic-wise, I think we'll continue to enjoy the stability that we've been enjoying, and I believe that it's going to improve. I like what is happening in the oil and gas sector. Just a few days ago, Dangote reduced their pump price again of PMS.
Yeah.
Yes. So that we believe should significantly also translate to transportation. To reduce transportation costs to some extent as well. And as I said, at least if we don't get for the first time this year in December, typically would right now would have been experiencing fuel scarcity, and that would not be happening this year. I can
I don't even feel it's coming.
It's not coming at all. I think the only thing we've experienced is the reduction, in the price of fuel at the moment. So I said, in the economy, I expect that I foresee that there will be more stability, which allows for serious-minded businesses to grow. Um, Anytime there's stability in an economy, investors are always interested. Institutional investors are always interested. Nigeria is a big market for the international community because of our numbers, because of the business viability. But the most important thing that I know investors are always looking out for is volatility. So if that is taken away from the market, why not? They would definitely come in, and they're already coming into the country as well. So I expect that Nigeria will enjoy that. I also expect that there are also some incentives as well that are being given, especially in the agricultural space. I believe that more players will pick up those incentives, and that will ensure that we are able to have a more prosperous agricultural sector. We have all that it takes.
What kind of incentives have you seen?
The EDI, there are a lot
Okay.
of incentives for the
For that.
agricultural sector.
Oh, okay.
Yes, people that are interested in that business, they should pay attention to that. There's a lot of incentives there, so it's important that people that are thinking in that line, you start looking at this other things as well that can help your business grow and scale as well. So I also foresee that the inflation rate will keep reducing as well. Yes, inflation should reduce in year 2026, and when inflation reduces, that means there's more money for Nigerians to spend. So I
borrowing.
believe yes, they have more money, they have more disposable income, and that will have a positive impact on businesses as well. Because when people have disposable income, then they are able to buy. They're able to buy more, they're able to spend more. So I believe that businesses will flourish better. There's also a prediction that the economy in Nigeria will grow faster than what we've experienced in many years prior. Yeah, that the economy is going to grow faster. And it's a no brainer, with the reforms, the very fundamental reforms that has been implemented. I'm not surprised that this will be happening. Remember, subsidy is gone, the unification of the exchange rate as well. These are significant changes that are pivotal, to driving the growth of the economy.
So, what do you find as? I think you've spoken about it a bit more, a bit in the other time, but are there any key drivers that you think would, or key surprises that will be drivers to some of these things that you could just say? I mean, I'm not holding you to it. It's not a prediction, but
Yeah.
let's say a hunch that you feel we'll see in 2026 as a result of this tax and these monetary policies that you've spoken about, and it being an election year. Are there some surprises that we should expect? Some people tell us that we should expect that there will be more, um, what do they call it? There will be more scrutiny, obviously, on our finances. There will be less money gifting anyhow, you know. But some other people also predict that there will be a lot of boom in terms of like foreign direct investments.
Yeah.
You know, so what are you predicting?
So I actually agree with those predictions that there will be more scrutiny, from the tax angle. And I think people should not be afraid of that. Just get your house in order. That's the most
How can I
important
get
thing.
my house in order? What are the simple things that you tell me to close out that I should do to get my house in order?
Starting from right now, Get the documentation right in your business. Keep records and proper documentation. It's as simple as that.
Hmm.
That's like the first thing for
Yeah.
you to do.
The rest, my
If you
consultant can take care of it.
Yes, if you do that, you solved about 70% of your tax problem. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. If you do that, you solved about 70% of your tax problem. The other ones, your consultant can guide you in in the best way to achieve that. But documentation, records, they're very key. Then also for the boom, I believe so. I think I mentioned it as well, that there will be an influx investors, because as far as for any economy that is stable and is a growing economy, it will always attract investors, and Nigeria is number one when it comes to that. So yes, I expect that there will be more of it, in 2026.
2026.
Yes.
So, any final words to businesses who are looking to grow in 2026, to individuals who are looking to prosper in 2026? I would like you to tell me any final words in terms of what we should be doing. And also, too, I think something I will add is any sector that we should be looking at.
Why sector?
I mean, like maybe you see that the sector will boom. You've spoken about the account tech sector. You've spoken about the agri
Yes,
sector.
I have.
So, are there any other sectors that you think? I think this space is going to boom in 2026.
The truth is that it's still the agricultural sector. That's why I see a lot of boom.
Opportunities.
Yes, opportunities. Everybody in this world, one thing is certain: we have to eat. We have to eat.
You cannot negotiate your way out of it.
No, you can't negotiate your way out of it. And just Nigeria alone, with our populace, it's significant.
Which is rapidly growing.
Which is exactly.
And
it's
rapidly
not even
young.
rapidly
Aggressively
young.
young, yeah.
Exactly. So the point is that if you manufacture food, you will always sell. If you produce food, rather, you will always sell. Or you manufacture
either home or abroad.
Either home or abroad, you will always sell. The market is always there for you if you position yourself rightly and you have the right products as well. That's very key. Another thing I would say is that, okay, so my advice to business owners is that they shouldn't, please don't panic, and to individuals, don't panic about the new tax law. Most of the laws are not even new. They've been in existence before, but most times I think most people are just getting to know about this laws. So don't panic. Don't do things out of fear. But it's important that you do things from a knowledgeable standpoint. Seek for knowledge. When you have that knowledge, you will know the right step to take. You will know the right things to do. Most importantly, keep records and have proper documentation in your business henceforth. And before you commence operation next year, also, I would recommend that you have a session with your tax consultant, so that your internal control processes that has to be reviewed and realigned to be compliant with the tax law can be taken into consideration before you commence your business. Remember that ignorance is not an excuse in the court of law. So in this instance as well, if you adhere to the tax law, the taxman, your ignorance will not be an eligible excuse as well. So it's important, that you arm yourself with the right knowledge. And beyond that, there's a lot of opportunities next year. Position your business in the right way. If you position your business in the right way, and when we say this, I'm not talking about anything big or grandeur. It's just that make sure that you have the right people can easily communicate with you if they need your services or your products. You have a very streamlined, clear way for people to get across to you. Put your brand out there as much as possible. Be diligent, be truthful, have integrity, build this reputation that makes people to vouch for you even in your absence. That's very important. And if you are able to do all this, I have no doubt that your business is not just going to succeed, but thrive in year 2026.
So, but I mean, those are really powerful counsel, and it's a great way to end it. But I would like to ask, on behalf of those watching, tell us. I know you do a lot with Lefort Consulting and Account Tech Summit, and I mean, you are really really driving the whole account tech ecosystem in Nigeria and Africa. Um, Tell me, what are some things we should look forward to seeing from you in 2026?
Good question. First of all, we have created, because of all this tax brouhaha, we told ourselves that we needed to do something that will help people, that will make it easier for people to be compliant. Like at the moment, there's no place for you to get information on how you can even pay taxes in all the states in Nigeria. That information is so hard, So we've created a platform called Simple Tax.
Okay.
We'll be launching that platform in January. And on that platform, it provides you with every information regarding your personal income tax.
Okay.
Whether you're a resident in Anambra or you're a resident in Kogi or you're a resident in Kano, on that platform you see information about what you need to do, from start to finish. On the same platform also, you'll be able to pay your taxes. On the same platform, you'll be able to calculate your taxes, and all for free. So it's a win-win for both parties at the end of the day.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I mean, I look forward to seeing it. And how can people keep up with you? Also, right now, if they've seen your work, how do they follow up with you or get in contact with you? Because we get that a lot on every episode, and I'm like, why are you always asking me? I think I should always put their contact. So how do people contact you? Your personal?
You can go to my social media handle, Toyin Olufon. I'm active on Instagram and on LinkedIn. I write every day. So I write serious posts, by the way.
No, it's fine.
My page is not the page that makes you smile, but it makes you smarter and
Yes.
more knowledgeable. That's what my page is about.
All about. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tony. I mean, it's been a privilege having you on this platform and learning from you today. Thank you for not holding back.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Guys, like I said, it's always an exciting episode, and this was really, really electric. And one thing I can tell you is that for you to help us grow this channel and make us bring in more amazing guests like this, ensure you like, share, and subscribe this video on this video and on this channel today. And also comments. Let people know let us know how you found the episode. Ask questions in the comment section. And if you ask questions that are really, really strong that I need a guest to actually answer, I will ensure I get that across to them and they will get you an answer. I look forward to catching you on the next episode. Welcome to 2026 in advance. See you there.